Hi everyone, my name is Donald Garrett. I unfortunately couldn't make the class today, so I thought I would just record my narration over these PowerPoint slides and just share share a few of my language presentation. I'm currently a Japanese studies minor, and I've been studying language for about 5.5 years. And when I was reading our textbook, going through the language chapter, I could think of a lot of examples of the Japanese language that could relate to what Delaney was saying. So today I'm just going to kind of show how Japanese can be viewed as an arbitrary language in a way. So I want you all to sit back and think what these characters could mean. I'm not in the classroom right now, so I can't really pick anyone who's raising their hand, but I'll give you a little hint. The first character means rice, and then the second one means country. And then pronounced in Japanese, you would say Beikoku. What are some ideas you really have about this? A place like India and Spain, they use a lot of rice in the cooking. Is this what it could refer to? Well, I know since you want to be held in suspense, the answer, these characters actually mean America. And some of you are probably wondering how a country that's known for its rice, like Japan, would refer to another country as rice country. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of background on language, a little bit of background behind the Japanese language, and then we can all arrive at the conclusion together. Traditionally, Japanese was strictly an oral language. There was no writing component to it. All the history was passed down from generation to generation through storytelling and things like that. And it really wasn't until the spread of Buddhism from China that brought the Chinese characters to Japan. And actually, the earliest text in Japan date back to about the 8th century, and that's really late compared to other parts of the world like Mesopotamia that were having their writing systems like the cuneiform and things back in the BCE eras. Now, this text on the right is one of the earliest texts found in Japan, and what's unique about it is it's written completely in Chinese. So historians, anthropologists really believe that the Japanese read these texts in Japan, read the Chinese characters, but read it speaking Japanese. That's kind of what they do today. And today, there's really about 3.5 alphabets in Japanese. You have your hiragana, which is this completely phonetic alphabet. It's really cursive-like. Then katakana is more straight edge, and that's what the Japanese really use to represent their foreign words. And then kanji is Chinese characters. All three of these versions are just different ways of writing Nihongo, which means the Japanese language. And at the end, the kind of half alphabet is Romaji, which is just a way we see people studying Japan in America write how the Japanese sounds out using our Romanized characters. Delaney said on page 118 that language is a completely symbolic system, that there's no necessary connection between a sound and the concept signified. This character right here in this slide means person. In Chinese, you pronounce it as ren, but in Japanese, you pronounce it as hito. Although their sound completely different, they signify the same thing, but the sound isn't what's important for the connection between what it's trying to represent. So what you see with the Japanese is this is a sentence completely written in hiragana, and what they do is they condense the many hiragana characters down to the kanji, and then as you'll see from there, hiragana is really used in the sentences to represent the different grammatical points in the sentence to kind of add flow for when you're reading, making it a lot easier for the Japanese. So let's go back to Beikoku and how is America a rice country? Well, I'll give you another little hint. There's actually more than one way to write America in Japanese, and the other way to write it is, you guessed it, in katakana, and you pronounce it America. For each character is a syllable. And the last final hint I'm going to give you is that in order to figure out the rice country, we have to go back before World War II, when katakana wasn't as prevalent for representing foreign ideas. Both Beikoku and America or can be used interchangeably, but keeping with the arbitrariness of the language. We're going to step back just a few more centuries, and this is what America used to look like, and you pronounce this America. But if you look at the second character, which is pronounced me, that's what the character in Beikoku is. So that's where you get Beikoku, because we used to write America long drawn out in the Chinese characters versus the katakana in Japan. And that's pretty much how we get America to be rice country, and hope you enjoyed learning kind of how the Japanese language can be seen a little as arbitrary. Thank you very much.